Hey folks, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to our weekly id Invaded discussion video, and today we are here to talk all about episode 10 or file 10, Inside Outed Part 2. But before we get into that, I do want to give a big thank you to those of you who shared last week's video over on Twitter. At Infamous519, at Bubba Lubber, at Clockwork Cams, at Matt87Eagle, at DCherryWolf, at Matt Monies, at Wizardo320, at The Dubbed Casual, at JDubs Gaming, and at AnimeFan3535. Thanks so much for sharing last week's video over on Twitter, you guys, and if you too would like to have your name shouted out in next week's id Invaded video, then be sure to share this video around on the internet, and then tag me at JoJo Talks Too Much over on Twitter, and I will be sure to shout your name out in next week's video. Okay, so it is official. I don't care what anybody says. Id is easily one of the best shows this season. I adore this friggin' series, and it only continues to build on the emotion and the drama and the mystery, especially the mystery, of this whole John Walker crazy inception-y story that it has going on. It has been absolutely insane, especially lately. And there's two big things that I want to talk about. I'm sure some people probably want me to talk about what's going on with Kaoru-chan. I know she's like, or whatever her name is, Kiki Asukai, like what's going on with her. I have no idea. I'm not even gonna approach that. It seems like she's concerned that she'll like seep out into the world. My only theory is that John Walker is trying to break her to the point where her subconscious like floods everywhere, and serial killers can like attack people in their dreams or something. I don't really know what's going on with her. So instead, I'm going to talk about Sakaido finally meeting Hondomachi, which feels like it's been ages and a long time coming. We're on episode 10 and these characters are meeting for the first time, and it is stupendous, by the way. But I want to talk about Sakaido and Hondomachi meeting, and then I also want to talk about Fukada, that bastard. Gotta talk about him betraying Sakaido. Which we will get to in time. First, I want to talk about Sakaido and Hondomachi finally meeting, and the way they meet is interesting, right? Because Sakaido's going, and he's got the gun, and Hondomachi right away is like, drop the gun, turned around to me slowly, and it's straight up Hondomachi, and she remembers everything in the same way that Sakaido does. At first, I thought that this was Hondomachi in the same time period that she would be in if in reality, right? Because we're starting to catch up to where we were at the start of the series. So I thought that was going to be Hondomachi from Sakaido's like created world that he's in. Although I suppose it's Asukai's world. Whatever. Like I thought it was Hondomachi from this fake version, right? But no, this is the real Hondomachi, who explains that there is a bit of time distortion going on, as it turns out that Hondomachi has only been inside the second Idwell for about 20 minutes. And how long has Sakaido been there? Round about 2 years. I did the math. In the show they say like for over a year, but it's actually like 2 years, if my math is right. Although, let's be real, my math is terrible, so it's probably not. But yeah, it's around about 2 years. So an insane time distortion going on there. And it obviously breaks Sakaido, because he sees Hondomachi, and he's like, oh, it's you. But I think he had the same thought of like, oh, this is Hondomachi from like this time period in this fake world, because he refuses to admit that it's fake. He's like, no, this is real. This is happening. And if you spent that much time in this Idwell, you would I feel like I understand why he starts to believe that that's the case. Like his mind starts to crack at the idea that this has all been fake. The past 2 years have actually been just in his head. It's not real. And being confronted with that obviously totally shatters him. And that's where we get the phone call and the montage. And that is set to Memories of Love by Hiroshi Suenami and Soundbreakers, who I am not familiar with either artist. When I did research, I can't really find anything by them. I think Soundbreakers did a song for the Picard show, which, like, cool, I guess. But yeah, I haven't, I'm not aware of these two. But I did actually kind of like the song a little bit. I think the impact to me was from the conversation over the phone. That's what really hit. The song added to it, although I will say that some of the lyrics are a little like on the nose, like very fitting for what's going on, but almost like too fitting. But at the same time, it still really hit because you just feel so bad for Sakaido. Knowing that he has to once again say goodbye to his wife and his kid, and he's like reliving all of these memories of being with them, and it's him like confronting the fact that they are gone, that in reality he has a job to do to honor the real them that are gone from his world. And when he says like, when they ask him like, are you leaving? Like, what's going on? And he's like, no, you guys left me. And when they ask, like, you're okay? He's like, yeah, I'm gonna be just fine. And it's like, oh, god damn. Sakaido, or Narihisago, or Akihito, whatever you want to call this man. God, such a damn good character. He just breaks my heart. And it was great to see him like come to grips with the fact that like, okay, no, it's time to wake up. It's time to solve the mystery of who is John Walker. Time to save the day and honor my family. And I thought that was stupendous. And we are robbed, I say, of the team up that I've been craving. And that is, of course, the team up between Sakaido and Hondomachi, because they don't actually team up, because Fukada, or what we assume to be Anaido at that moment, is he's been counting the 10 minutes. And at the 2-year plus mark, that's been 10 minutes in the first Idwell, so he taps on the eject button for the machine, launches Sakaido up in the air, and we are robbed of a crossover with Hondomachi. I was really, really intrigued at the idea of Hondomachi and Sakaido trying to solve the mystery of who is John Walker from within the second Idwell. But yeah, we don't get to see how that works out, which is like fine, whatever, it's fair. And it leads up to the second big twist of the episode, that is Fukada betraying Sakaido, since he actually remembers being Fukada. He's not Anaido right now, he is Fukada. He remembers everything, which I find interesting because the way they explain it is that he remembers everything because he drilled that part of he drilled into his head. So because of that, like maybe like he mushed up some brain waves, so he's a little bit different from the others, so he actually does remember his own memories going in every time, and he's just been playing them. The fact that he's been playing them this whole time tells me that I feel like Fukada was a plant by John Walker to try to, I guess, break Sakaido in some way, because basically once Fukada remembers everything, or not even once he remembers, he's always remembered, but once he reveals that he remembers everything, he tells Sakaido, A, I know where we actually are, and B, you're not Sakaido, you're Akihito Narihisago, whatever Akihito's name is. I always mispronounce his last name, but you're not Sakaido, you're not a brilliant detective, you're a cop and a murderer, and this is all fake. And because he starts to remember, and he starts seeing the storm kick up. And this moment gave me chills, where you see the storm start to kick up, and the picture of Sakaido's family flies up into the air. And when all the sand in the desert starts to turn into like a tornado, and underneath them is the big checkered board with all the numbers from Sakaido's Idwell. So they're actually in Sakaido's Idwell this whole time. It's not Momoki's Idwell, which means Sakaido is remembering who he is in his own Idwell, which is going to cause a storm, and who the hell knows what's going to happen. And I have no idea what this could possibly mean. My brain trembles at the thought, if I may quote another show. But I have no clue what this means, because like when that happened, I was like, oh, it's dope. How? What does that mean? How were they in Sakaido's Idwell the whole time? And if they're in Sakaido's Idwell, like, so, but I thought that they gathered the murderous intent, that those particles, I thought they gathered that from Momoki's house. So, I just have no words. I have no clue where we're going. We have 3 episodes left, and I'm so nervous that they may not stick the landing, but man, even if they don't, this ride has been insane. And it's a pleasure to watch this show. And can I get just a moment of praise for Kenjiro Suda, who just, like, the phone call conversation, the refusal of reality for that brief moment. My God, Suda just nailed this episode. Absolutely killed and crushed this performance. So damn good. With that said, everybody, I'm going to wrap up my thoughts on episode 10, or file 10, whatever you want to say. As you could tell, my brain feels like it's doing loops. I'm going to say that this episode was like a English breakfast tea because, Sakaido woke up back into, well, another Idwell, but we're getting there, and I feel like I'm slowly waking up to the grander plot of the show, and it's intense. And with that said, that is a wrap on today's video, so I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, then go ahead and hit that like button, maybe even consider sharing the video around on the internet, and go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you want to stick around and see more content from me. And if you do, be sure to click on that bell icon so that you'll know immediately when a new video of mine comes out, and if you want to go above and beyond, then consider checking out our Teespring store and grabbing yourself a mug, or checking out our Patreon page, which really helps support the channel. And speaking of our Patreon page, I want to give a big thank you to those of you who support the channel over on Patreon. Andrew W., Calvin A., Crowbar of Irony, Daniel G., Digger the Fox, Emily, Ionos, Urza, Ginkotaku, Godzilla Fan, No For Nothing, Maria Teresa, Marshall B., Mirth Mouser, Cell, Shadow Creative, Stephen G., Sakochi, Tristan G., and Veridin. A huge thank you to all of you who support this channel over on Patreon, and if you too would like to join the T Squadron, then be sure to check out the link in the description to check out our Patreon page and get access to our Patreon exclusive Discord for as little as $1 a month. And with all that said, I want to once again thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have an awesome day, and if you are feeling stressed out today, then you go have yourself a warm cup of tea, and I will talk to you all again real soon.